The peaceful beginning. So there's this guy named Silas Ward. He's a farmer, you know? Grew up on this little farm up in the hills of New York. It's like the kind of place where the sun comes up. You work your butt off, and when it goes down, you're too tired to do anything but fall into bed. His family had been there for ages, just doing their thing, planting stuff, raising animals, living off the land. Silas didn't need much else. No fancy parties or big bucks for him. He liked the simple life. He lived by himself on that farm after. His folks passed away. He didn't marry or anything. Just him and the animals doing their thing every day. He'd get up when it was still dark out, do his chores, and then work the fields until it got dark again. Only time he'd leave was to grab some supplies or hit the local diner for a bite. But mostly it was just Silas and his quiet life he'd start. His days early, milk the cows, feed the chickens, and go to town to work the fields. It was hard work, but he liked it. It felt right, like he was part of something that had been going on for a long, long time. There was a rhythm to it all, same stuff every season. He found his zen in the dirt, really, but life had other plans. People started whispering about some big change coming, the kind that would turn everything upside down. Silas thought it was just small-town gossip at first. I mean, who hasn't heard about the end of the world a few times, right? But the whispers got louder, and even Silas started to feel like something was off. The skies looked weird, the wind had a bite to it, and the ground just felt restless. He couldn't put his finger on it, but things were definitely changing. And not in a good way, if you catch my drift. The kind of change that makes you sit up and pay attention. So, even though Silas had been through his share of tough times, he knew this was new. This was something that could shake up his whole world. And that's when he realized maybe he should have paid more attention to those crazy rumors. After all, the first indications as spring rolled into summer. Silas's farm started acting up with some weird stuff. It was all small at first, like crops growing all funky, trees not giving him any fruit, and the animals going nuts. His chickens, those noisy little critters, clammed up and just stared into the dark corners of the barn. The cows, which were chill most of the time, started getting all jumpy at night. Mooing like crazy at the moon. Silas had a knack for trusting his gut, and this situation was no exception. He could just tell something was off. It felt like the whole farm was holding its breath, like something big was about to go down. There was this heavy vibe in the air that was really bugging him. One night, when he was out in his field just looking things over, he saw this insanely bright light zip across the skyway, brighter than any shooting star. It was like the universe was sending him a message or something. And let me tell you, it got super quiet after that, like the wind took a nap, and the birds forgot how to tweet the next day. Things got even weirder. He went to check his crops, and oh boy, were they looking sad. His wheat field, which had been looking pretty good, was now totally wilted like someone sucked all the life out of it. And the corn? Forget about it. It was all tiny and shriveled, like it couldn't even be bothered to grow right. So Silas knew something was seriously up. The signs were screaming at him, and he couldn't ignore it. Something bad was definitely happening on his farm, rumors in the small town, this tiny town, right? It's like the size of your thumb on a map, but let me tell you, word spreads faster than a wildfire here. Silas, who's just an ordinary Joe, walks into his local diner for his regular cup of joe, and what does he find? The whole place is abuzz with whispers about what's going down on his farm. And let me tell you, it's not the kind of stuff you chat about over a Sunday brunch. The townsfolk are all freaked out, mumbling about how the weather's gone haywire and how the animals are acting all loopy. Some folks are throwing around doomsday scenarios like it's going out of fashion: earthquakes, floods, fires, the whole shebang. And remember that weird flash Silas saw? Well, apparently that wasn't just a one-off thing. People are saying they've been spotting some pretty out there lights in the sky, but then you've got these other people, the ones who've always had their eye on Silas with a bit of suspicion. They're acting like they knew it all along, saying that his farm troubles are basically the universe's way of saying, "Pay up, buddy." They're whispering about curses and how Silas's ancestors might have ticked off Mother Nature or something. And, don't get them started on those ancient doomsday prophecies. You know, the ones where the world's about to end with a bang and not a whimper. Silas, bless his heart, is just trying to keep it together, listening to all this craziness. He's always seen himself as a no-nonsense type, keeping it real with his hands in the dirt and his feet on the ground. But these farm shenanigans, they're messing with his head big time. And with the townies' whispers just adding to the chaos, he can't help but feel like he's in the middle of a B-grade horror flick. The more he hears, the more his gut's doing somersaults. He tries to keep cool, sipping on his coffee like it's just another day, but we all know it's not. The rumors are thick, like peanut butter on toast, and they're sticking to him like nobody's business. And let's be honest, the whole situation is just plain weird, even for someone who's seen their share of oddball stuff. Asterisk the dream one night. Silas had this crazy dream, right? It was like nothing he'd ever had before, so vivid and eerie it made his skin crawl. In the dream, he was just chilling on his farm, but everything looked messed up, like it had been zapped of life or something. The place was all withered and dead, like someone had sucked the color right out of it. The trees were like skeletons with no leaves, and the crops he'd been slaving over were nowhere to be seen, just dry, cracked earth. The sky above was this weird mix of dark and stormy, like the universe had gone through a really bad mood swing. Then, this old woman pops up. I mean, she's hunched over like she's been carrying the weight of the world on her back, and she's got this stick that looks like it's seen better days. But it's her eyes that really get to him. They're shining like she's got a secret no one else knows. And she starts talking to him, her voice booming like it's coming from the sky itself. She says, "Silas Ward, the world's about to bite the dust. And you're the last one to see it coming." It was like someone had slapped him with a wet fish, so shocking. As Silas's brain tried to process this, the wind starts whipping around like it's in a hurry to get somewhere, and he's feeling all this sadness, like something huge is about to happen that he can't do anything about. The clouds roll in, looking ready to dump their guts out, and it feels like the very earth is giving up. It's so real that when he wakes up, he's drenched in sweat, heart racing like he's just run a marathon. Now, Silas is a simple guy, right? He's all about the land, the crops, the animals. He lives by the seasons, not by the clock. But this dream, or was it a warning, stuck with him like glue all day. He couldn't shake it off, and every time he thought about it, he felt like he was carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. It was like his whole life had been turned upside down overnight. So he goes about his day, but every step feels heavier, like he's wearing concrete boots. And all the while, that woman's voice keeps echoing in his head. The end is near. It's like she's stuck on repeat, reminding him that maybe the quiet life he's known is about to get a whole lot noisier. And he can't shake the feeling that something big is coming, something he's got no clue how to deal with. It's like the world's playing a joke on him, except it's not funny at all. Just a bunch of bad vibes. A warning from the forest, so Silas started getting really nervous over the next few days. Everything outside looked like it was going down the drain, and his animals were acting all jumpy and weird. What really freaked him out, though, was how quiet everything had gotten. No more bees doing their thing in the garden, no crickets singing their night tunes, and no leaves playing tag in the wind. It was just eerie, you know? One night, Silas was taking a stroll through the woods behind his farm, and he spotted something weird. This dude was there, all hunched over, like he didn't know where he was or something. He had a hood on, so Silas couldn't see his face, but the guy's eyes were glowing a bit super spooky. The man didn't say anything, but just seeing him gave Silas the HEBIE-JEEBIES.S got closer. The dude held up his hand, and it was like some kind of weird power shot through the air. Silas felt his stomach turn into knots, like something really bad was about to go down. The man just pointed to the sky where these big dark clouds were hanging out, looking all stormy. Then, poof, he disappeared, leaving Silas standing there with his mouth hanging open. Silas had no clue what that was all about, but he knew it. Couldn't be good. Whatever was coming his way, he had a feeling it was going to be one heck of a challenge. Asterisk the change in the weather at first. The weather started acting kind of weird, you know? Nothing too crazy, just a few odd clouds here and there. But things escalated quick. Those clear, blue skies turned all moody and gloomy with these weird, whirl-white clouds popping up out of nowhere. And the wind? Oh man, it went from 0 to 60. In the blink of an eye, then just dropped dead again like it got tired or something. There was no pattern to it, like Mother Nature had gone haywire or something. Silas, he's this farmer guy, right? He was just trying to keep it all together, going about his usual farm stuff with the animals and crops and all. But the crops, they just weren't having it. They were looking sadder than a puppy in the rain, no matter what Silas did to save them. It's like the earth had a grudge against him and was playing hard to get with the whole growing thing. Then, one day, Silas woke up and it felt like the world had gone on mute. The air was thick and heavy, like it was waiting for something bad to happen. He stepped outside and everything looked like a sad, burnt-out mess. The crops, those poor things, they were all shriveled up like they'd been in the oven too long. And the trees? They were looking pretty rough, too, like they'd been to a rave and had a bad hangover. With leaves all crunchy and curled up. So Silas is strolling through his fields, thinking about that weird old woman from his dream and this mysterious dude in the woods. And it hits him like a ton of bricks the world's going down the drain, and he's gonna get caught in the splash, too. The warning was loud and clear. Things were going downhill, and he wasn't getting a free pass, asterisk the old woman's return, and then her voice was like a spooky lullaby, calm but giving me the heebie-jeebies. The place is toast, buddy, and you can't ignore it. The finale's right around the corner. You're not just here to watch the show. You're the last one holding the torch. That farm, the whole dirt ball, it's all on you. I could barely catch my breath with that heavy info dump. I looked around for the cozy farm vibe, but nope, I was smack dab in the middle of a big, sad, empty dirt bowl. The ground was cracking like it had given up on life. "Who the heck are you?" I yelled, trying not to sound like a scaredy cat. "What do you want with me? I'm just a regular Joe with a plow." Her smile was weird, like when you tell a toddler something huge and they just stare back with their big, clueless eyes. "Oh, you've got all the answers, Silas. They've been whispering sweet nothings to you since forever. You just didn't want to tune in because you had your farming gig going on?" The wind was acting like a banshee, messing with dead trees and trying to blow out the fire. The air got colder, and the sky looked like it was about to spill its guts with rain. I was about to ask for some kind of break, but my voice was Mia. I felt like a lost puppy. The old gal waved her hand at the horizon, and boom, the sky went all dark and gloomy. The earth started to shiver like it had the heebie-jeebies, too. "This isn't just your average storm, Silas," she said, all calm and stuff. "It's like the universe slapping us with a wet fish. The planet's holding on by a thread." "Fight?" I blurted out, not sure what the heck she was getting at. "What kind of fight are we talking about?" Her stare was like lasers, and her eyes had some kind of glow that made me think she was not your typical farmer's market granny. "The earth's out of whack, Silas," she said. "It's all messed up from everyone not caring. You've got to fix it. But don't go it alone. There are more folks like you. Maybe, just maybe, we can patch up the world before it's too late." "But the clock's ticking, buddy." Asterisk, the decision the dream, or was it a weird vision? Woke Silas up, shaking like a leaf in the cold, dark night. He just had to stand by the fireplace, checking out the fire that was almost out, feeling totally lost. It was like someone had dumped a big all-bucket of reality on him. Those words from that old lady kept playing in his head like a broken record. "The end is coming." And get this, the land was kicking the bucket. And apparently it's all up to him to save it. What the what? He's just a regular Joe, someone who plants seeds and plows fields, not some hero guy. But he couldn't shake off the vision, you know? It was like it was slapping him in the face, saying, "Hey, buddy, wake up. Something big and bad is happening here." His farm was turning into a wasteland, and it seemed like the whole wide world was going down with it. So the next day, when he's out in the fields, seeing all the mess around him, Silas makes up his mind he had to do something, anything. He couldn't just sit on his butt and watch everything he's ever cared about crumble to dust. But here's the kicker. What the heck was he supposed to do? He's not like Superman with a fancy cape and all the answers. He's just a farmer, trying to figure out how to stop the world from going belly up. Asterisk, the decision, the dream, or more like a wild vision, had Silas wide awake and shaking in the dead of night. He was by the fireplace, just staring at the last bits of the fire, totally freaked out. His head was spinning, trying to figure out what the heck just went down. The old lady's words kept playing on repeat in his noggin. "The end is nigh." The place was going kaput, and apparently it was all on him to save it. Come on, he was just a regular Joe, tending to his crops and trying to keep the land in good shape, being a hero. Not exactly his gig, but he couldn't shake off that vision. It was like someone screaming in his ear that something big and bad was coming. His farm looked like it had seen better days, and the world outside his fence wasn't looking too hot either. So the next day, Silas went out into the fields, checking out all the mess. He couldn't just sit around and let everything go to waste. He had to do something, anything, to stop this disaster in its tracks, but where to start? What could one dude do against something so huge? He took a deep breath and made up his mind. He'd give it his best shot. He couldn't just sit by and let his life's work and all that history before him just fade away without throwing a punch. But the question was, where to even begin? What could he, a simple farmer, do to stop the world from going belly up? Asterisk, a mysterious pal. The following day, Silas wandered further into the woods, like there was some kind of weird pull that the trees had on him. The wind was all whispers, and it looked like the leaves were waving him on. He had no clue what he was. But something inside told him to keep on going. After a good while of walking, he stumbled onto a small open spot. There was this old guy sitting on a rock, leaning on a walking stick. He looked like he'd seen better days with his torn clothes and crazy hair and beard. But there was something oddly familiar about him. The old-timer glanced up as Silas got closer. "Silas Ward, I've been expecting you," he said, his voice all rough and peaceful. Silas was like, "What the heck? You know my name?" The old man nodded, real slow. "I do, my friend. I've been keeping an eye on this place, just like you. And I've got some news. The earth's not doing so hot right now, and it seems like you're the one who's supposed to help fix it up." Silas was all, "Chosen? By who? And what do you mean I can help? Everything on my farm is going to hell, and I can't even figure out why. How can I do anything?" The old guy slowly got to his feet with his stick for support. You've always had the knack, Silas. The earth talks to folks who'll listen. You just gotta look closer, feel more. You're like a guardian of nature or something. Things are out of whack, but if you find the heart of the land, there's still a chance you can make it right again. The hidden heart of the earth, the old geezer's words had Silas totally baffled. It was like he'd been tossed into a world that made no sense to him. The place he used to call home was fading away, and now he's supposed to save it. It was a bit much to take in. "You're not making any sense?" Silas said, a bit annoyed. "What's this heart of the land you keep going on about?" The old man just grinned, like he got the joke Silas didn't. "It's the spot where everything starts to even out. The land's own heart, you know?" He said, "But something's gone haywire with that rhythm. To fix the earth, you've got to find that heart and patch up the tear in it. That's the only way the whole shebang's got a shot at sticking around." "But how the heck do I find this heart?" Silas asked, feeling pretty lost. The old man's face got all gentle. "It's hidden, sure, but you've been walking on the way to it your whole life, buddy. The path's like second nature to you. You just gotta remember." So Silas stood there trying to get his head around this big revelation. Could it be true? Was he the guy who could save the whole darn planet? What kind of mojo did he have to pull that off? Asterisk, the search starts, so Silas gets this crazy idea to find the heart of the place where he's lived forever. This old-timer tells him to keep in mind all the stuff that's gone down over the years, and to pay attention to the land that's been keeping him alive all this time. He's pretty serious about it, and you can tell because every time he takes a step, it feels like he's carrying the weight of the whole world on his shoulders. But, there's a little spark of hope in there too. Like maybe he can actually do something amazing. He starts trekking through the woods, which is something he's done a million times before, but now it's all weird and new to him. It's like the trees are giving him the side eye or something, like they're trying to tell him secrets. And as he goes further in, the woods get even weirder. The trees are like, "Whoa, buddy, you're going where no man has gone before," with their branches doing some kind of mysterious dance that he's never noticed before. It's like they're pointing the way, And then, every once in a while, the ground does this little shiver under his feet like it's nervous about something. It's not a big earthquake or anything, but it's definitely not just the wind playing tricks on him. It's like the earth has a heartbeat, but it's all wonky and offbeat. And Silas can feel it's not right. The forest just keeps getting trippier as he goes deeper. Trees shooting up like they're on steroids, the air stickier than a hot day at Grandma's house. He's all sweaty, hacking through bush like a maniac, getting closer to ... something. What that something is, he's not too sure yet. Then, bam, he stumbles onto this tiny little patch of open space where everything's eerily calm. Not a leaf rustles, not a critter stirs. And right smack in the middle, there's this humongous rock that's seen better days. But it's got this cool glow going on, like it's got a secret to tell. The rock's got all these carvings on it, like it's got more stories than anyone could ever listen to. They're like they're moving, playing tricks on his eyes, like they're alive. Silas goes up to the rock, all tentative, and the second his hand touches it, the whole area goes nuts. The earth practically does a tap dance under his boots, and there's this hum that goes right through his bones. It's like he's holding on to the universe's greatest secret. He takes a step back because, let's be honest, this is pretty intense. And that's when he hears the old woman's voice again, like she's whispering in his ear. She says, "You found it, Silas, the heart of the land. But just finding it is the easy part. You gotta fix it. Make the earth whole again." So Silas is just standing there, trying to get his head around all of this crazy stuff when he realizes that he's not just on a walk in the woods anymore. He's got a job to do, a big one. And he's the only one who can do it. Asterisk, the revelation. Silas plopped down in the open area, his head still spinning from the stone's powerful hit. He was trying to get his thoughts straight about this huge job ahead of him. He'd come looking for some answers, but now that he'd found this special place, he was just as confused about fixing it up. What was that old lady on about with all that restoring stuff? What could have made the earth so sick? He was just sitting there, lost in his thoughts, when the fancy drawings on the stones started to change right in front of him. It was like they were dancing or something, turning into shapes he recognized. It hidden they were like the basic stuff of life, earth, water, fire, air, all linked up like a giant game of Twister. Then bam, the stone lights up like a Christmas tree, and Silas feels like someone's squishing the breath out of him. It's like he's being sucked into the planet or something, feeling all this energy rushing through him, and then it clicks. He gets it. The earth's all out of whack because people have been treating it like their personal garbage can. They've taken so much and not given anything back that the land's got nothing left. But the core of the earth is still kicking, like it's holding on and waiting for some help. Silas shuts his peepers tight, really feeling the juice flowing through him. It's like the earth is talking to him, telling him exactly what to do. He puts his hands on the stone and, oh man, does it get hot. This warm feeling shoots through him, from his chest down to his fingertips. The earth's heart is responding to him, showing him the path to make it all better. Asterisk, the first step to getting things back to normal. So Silas was just chilling there, his hands on this super old rock, when all of a sudden he's like bombarded with all this crazy energy. It was intense, like, whoa, dude. But at the same time, it gave him this vibe that he totally knew what he had to do. He could feel Mother Nature's OG sadness, like she'd been through some serious heartache, and she needed some serious TLC. These ancient scribbles on the rock started glowing up, and he's all like, oh, snap, because he's seeing visions of the place getting trashed and messed up, but also some pretty cool scenes of it bouncing back like a yo-yo. The whole Earth situation was looking grim, but deep down, he had this gut feeling that, with a bit of elbow grease, he could totally turn things around. The first thing on his to-do list was to get all the elements to play nice again. It's like the land's been fighting with itself, water acting up, earth all wobbly, wind throwing tantrums, and fire just raging out of control. Everything's out of whack, and it's causing the whole place to go downhill fast. So Silas closes his eyes, really tuning into the vibes of the earth. He can feel the beat of the land beneath his feet, like it's got its own mixtape playing. The water's got its own flow, the wind's got its groove, and the fire's got this intense warmth. And he's like, all right, let's get this party started. He raises his hands, and it's like the land's all, yes, we can do this. The rock starts vibing with power, and the elements around him are like, Silas is here, let's go. The energy's swirling like a smoothie, and he feels like he's one with the earth. It's like a full-on cosmic hug, and that's when he takes the first step. The elements start to get in sync, like they're all doing a dance routine. The dirt gets all nutritious, the air's cleaner than a germaphobe's kitchen, and the water's so clear you could see a fish blink. The earth's like, wee-oo, finally, I'm coming back to life. But Silas isn't fooling himself. He knows this is just the start. There's a whole mess of work ahead, and the outside world is still a hot mess. There's all these mysterious players out there who'd love to mess up his good vibes. But he's ready to tackle whatever's coming his way. Bring it on, Mother Nature. The forces of destruction. So Silas is out there, right? He's got this cool ability to make the land all pretty again just by touching it. The earth's like, yes, please. But then there's this weird vibe, you know? It's like something's not totally chill. There are some bad dudes, these forces that love messing things up, who are totally not down with the whole let's make nature happy deal. Silas has caught glimpses of them in some crazy visions from a magical stone he's got. It's all about corruption, greed, and factories galore stuff that's basically giving Mother Nature a migraine. Now, Silas isn't just going to sit there and let these jerks ruin the place. Oh no, he's feeling the urgency big time. He gets that he's got to take them on and stop them from trashing the planet. But hey, he's not by himself in this. The land's got his back, giving him power, strength, and like a GPS for good vibes. He's like the Mother Nature's knight or something. Keeping the balance and all dot with his new mojo, Silas is ready to leave the safe zone of the clearing and check out what's happening in the big bad world. The earth is on the mend, sure, but it's got a long way to go. And Silas? He's just warming up. His adventure is just getting started, and he's gearing up to tackle whatever comes his way. It's gonna be one wild ride, and he's not turning back. Now, the path of the guardian so, Silas took a few steps out of the clearing and could feel the land's energy pumping back into his legs. It was like the earth was giving him a high five for finally getting it, but then reality hit now he had a big ol' job to do. The place he called home was in trouble, and not just from bad weather or something. There were big bad guys out. They're like companies that didn't care about the planet. Just their own pockets, tearing the place up, but how was he supposed to stop them? He was just a regular Joe with a patch of land to till. How could he go up against these giant machines? And greedy people? The trees whispered to him as he walked, and the ground felt like it was nudging him along. It was like the earth had his back and wanted him to keep moving. After a while, he found himself at the bottom of a mountain he used to play around when he was a kid. It looked the same, but it felt different. There was this buzz in the air. Like the mountain had a secret it was dying to tell. And as he climbed, that buzz got louder. It was like he was being called to the top dot when he finally made it, huffing and puffing. He saw these 3 people standing in this old stone circle, kind of like the one from before, but way, way older. They had this glow about them, like they were straight out of a fantasy movie. And they were waiting for him. "Welcome, Silas," one of them said, her voice sounding like it had been blown in by the wind. "You've got a big job to do, buddy. We're the guardians, and we're like the bouncers of nature. But we can't do it solo. We need peeps like you to help us out." Silas was like, "Whoa, what now?" But the woman just went on, saying that he'd been picked to join their cool nature club. They had to get the Earth's balance back on track because humans had been playing fast and loose with the planet's toys. "What do I gotta do?" he asked, his head spinning like a top. "Walk the path of the guardians," she said. "We'll teach you the Earth's moves, the kind of stuff that makes it tick. You gotta use that power to keep the bad guys at bay." Silas felt like he'd been handed the world's biggest responsibility, and he had so many questions. But deep down, he knew he was part of something huge, like he was meant to be a superhero for the planet. It was time to get schooled in the art of being a guardian, and he was ready to roll up his sleeves and get his hands dirty. Training in the elements, bro. So Silas started this intense training gig with these cool guardian peeps. For like a bunch of weeks, they had him learning all about the elements: earth, air, fire, and water, basically how to be a boss with them to help heal the land and keep it from getting messed up by bad stuff. His first jam session was with the earth. And let me tell you, this old dude who was his teacher looked like he was made of rocks. The guy was a total earth whisperer. He showed Silas how to tune into the planet's vibe, like it's got a beat, right? You've got to feel it to heal it. So Silas gets down and dirty, slaps his hands on the ground, and the guardians all listen. "Up, Silas. The Earth's got its own tune playing. It's like a chill heartbeat. You've got to get in sync with that." At first, Silas is just feeling dirt, but then, whoa, he starts picking up on this deep buzz like the Earth's pulse. It's crazy. The old rock dude goes, "Now, don't go all Hulk on it. You've got to be like a doctor, all tender and stuff. The Earth's hurt, and it needs some TLC." Silas really gets into it, letting his mind sync with the Earth's groove. He starts to feel the damage we've done, like it's got bruises and cuts all over. So he focuses on the messed up spots, sending some good vibes their way, and the Earth starts to mend. The dirt gets all soft, and you can almost smell the freshness, like it's breathing easier. As the days fly by, Silas is catching on. He learns to make the wind do his bidding, to call in water like a surf bro to a beach party, and even how to rock out with fire without burning everything down. Each element's got its own mojo, and Silas is getting good at mixing them all up like a DJ. At a festival. But here's the kicker. It's not just about knowing the elements. These Guardian dudes tell him that the whole world is like one big web, all tangled up with good and bad stuff. So, to keep the Earth in tip-top shape, he's got to get the whole balanced thing down pat. It's not about fighting the dark side all the time. You've got to grow the good vibes too. So, Silas is getting schooled on how to keep things in check. It's all about balance, man. And he's not just memorizing spells or whatever. He's actually getting it, like he's starting to feel the Earth's pain and joy like it's his own. Crazy, right? This isn't your typical schooling. It's more like a crash course in becoming one with nature and Silas. He's crushing it. Asterisk, the first showdown, so Silas's time kicking it with the Guardian crew was wrapping up, and he was feeling pretty badass, to be honest. He'd gotten the hang of controlling the Earth's mojo, fire, water, wind, you name it, but the real deal was just around the corner. Sure, he could fix the local vibes and all, but now he had to deal with the big guys trying to mess everything up. It was go-time. Silas and the Guardian squad made their way to the forest's edge, where he knew some serious troublemakers were waiting. It was this huge mining deal, think. Big machines and a bunch of peeps who didn't give a hoot about the planet. They'd been tearing into the mountains like it was nobody's business, taking whatever they could get their hands on without a care in the world for the mess they left behind. As they got closer to the mining gig, the vibe was intense, man. The air was full of clanking noises and the stink of smoke. The Earth was all banged up, like it had been in a major fight. The soil was basically crying out for help. It was all torn and stuff from these greedy miners. Silas could totally feel the land's pain and anger, like it was pumping through his veins. He looked at the Guardians and was like, "I got this. We got to stop these guys." And they were all, "We've got your back, Silas. We've taught you all this. Cool stuff. Now show us what you've got." They were serious. This was the moment Silas had been prepping for. The elements were with him, and he wasn't about to let the Earth take the fall for some corporate greed. So he strutted up to the mining operation with the Guardians backing him up, ready to throw down and save the day. Asterisk. The confrontation. As Silas got closer to the mining site, the air started feeling thicker with every step. The stink of smog was everywhere, and you could hear the mining equipment going clank, clank, clank real loud. The ground felt all weird under his boots, like it was complaining about the mess that was being made. It was like the Earth had a pulse, but here it was all faint, like someone had been sucking the life out of it. The Guardians were right there with him, looking all serious in their fancy robes. Each of them could control one of the elements, and they were ready to back him up in his quest to fix this place. "Hey, Silas, this isn't gonna be a walk in the park," one of them said. "The bad vibes here are off the charts, but remember, the land's got more juice than all of this mess. You gotta tune into it if you want to stop the damage, buddy." Silas nodded, his heart going like a jackhammer. He knew this was it, make or break. He'd learned to control Earth, wind, water, and fire, but he'd never gone up against something as big and nasty as the industrial grind. The mining site was like a giant mess, with huge machines chewing up the mountainside like it was a giant cookie. The workers were just going about their day, not a clue about the damage they were doing. Silas could feel the earth's anger, like it was begging for some help. He took a deep breath and stepped up. The ground started shaking and the machines stopped cold. The workers looked around like, "What the heck is going on?" But Silas didn't stop. He called on the wind, and whoosh, it picked up all sorts of stuff and tossed it around. "Hey, cut it out!" Some miner yelled, but Silas had to keep going. He wasn't there to scare them, just to make things right. Then he brought in the water. And boy, did it flow. It shot up from the ground like a geyser and started washing everything clean. The water went everywhere, filling up the holes, giving the earth a good drink. The workers stumbled away, looking all confused and amazed. The boss of the mining crew stomped over to Silas. "What the heck do you think you're playing at?" He barked. "This land's ours to use how we like. We need this stuff. The whole world does." Silas looked him straight in the eye. "The world does need stuff, sure, but not if it means killing the earth to get it. The land's not just a thing to use up, it's alive, man. It's time for it to get better, not worse." The boss guy just laughed. "You're nuts. This is just the way things are. Progress, you know. Can't stop that. The earth will keep giving, no matter what we do to it." Silas got a bit fiery, too. Progress that hurts the earth isn't progress. It's just the start of the end. And I'm not gonna let that happen, okay? So he called on the fire next. It came out big and bold, but it didn't go all crazy. It just burned away the dirty air and left the place cleaner. The earth was like, "Yes, thank you." Shaking a bit under his feet, the workers were scared, but Silas didn't want to hurt them. He just wanted to show them what was really happening. The earth was trying to tell them it needed a break. Silas talked to the elements, got them all singing the same tune, and the power grew even bigger. "You're the ones looking after this place. Whether you know it or not," he told the boss, "you can help put things right. Use what you've got to fix it, not break it more." The boss just stood there, looking like he'd seen a ghost. Then, finally, he told his guys to take it easy. "What the heck is this?" The boss whispered, "What kind of mojo do you have?" Silas gave him a little smile. "It's the earth's power, man. Nature's power. It's not something to be afraid of. It's just something to respect and look asterisk restoring the balance. Chillin' with the guardians, so." Silas took a break from busting heads and got down to business with the chill, nature-loving guardians to fix up the mess from that crazy mining thing. The folks who used to work there were kind of nervous, but they rolled up their sleeves and started planting trees, redoing the crops, and patching up the soil. At first, it was like trying to wake up a sleeping giant, but Silas could totally feel the land's vibe getting better. Silas became a bit of a traveling eco-warrior, popping up all over the place to tell the bad guys to chill with the destruction and let nature do its thing. Every time he helped the land bounce back, he got more in tune with the whole Mother Earth vibe. He realized the dirt under our feet isn't just something to use and toss. It's alive and kicking. And hey, guess who got to be her knight in shining armor? That's right, Silas, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. The road to making everything groovy again was full of bumps. There were plenty of places where people were still tearing stuff up just to get rich quick. Silas had his work cut out for him, and it was like playing whack-a-mole with those pesky companies. But hey, he's got the power of the elements backing him up, and his buddies the Guardians are there to lend a hand after a few wins. Silas got this superhero swagger going on. He knew the road ahead was gonna be a grind, like climbing a never-ending mountain of environmental woes. but he was ready to rock it out. Why? Because the earth is his jam, and he's not gonna let anyone mess it up. And as long as he's got the mojo of the earth inside him, he's gonna keep fighting the good fight. No way he's gonna quit. Asterisk the legacy of Silas. So time went by, and Silas became kind of a big deal. His name got out there, like really out there. He wasn't just a guy who worked the land anymore. He was a legend, man. Like a poster boy for hope and sticking it out through the tough times. His story started to get people thinking differently about the earth, you know? They began to realize it's not just some big rock we're living on, but something we've got to take care of. Like a buddy we don't want to see hurt. Silas kept at it, going around the globe, spreading the good word about how to keep things in check. With nature. He showed folks how to live with the earth, not just on it. Take what you need, sure, but don't be a jerk about it. Give back a little love, too. And people started to catch on slowly but surely. In the end, Silas went back to his old stomping grounds, his farm. The place had gone from sad and empty to like the Garden of Eden, but better. The crops were like skyscrapers made of plants. The animals were living their best lives, and the air as fresh as the first breath after a rain shower. He knew he'd done his part, but he also knew the job wasn't all wrapped up with a bow. There was still a long way to go, but sitting on that porch, watching the sun call it a day over his fields, Silas had this big old grin on his face. He'd seen the earth go through some serious stuff, like a total meltdown, but he'd helped put the pieces back together. The land was healed, and the world had a fighting chance, thanks to him and all the peeps he'd inspired. And that, my friends, is the story of Silas. He went from farmer to earth hero, and he left us with a pretty cool legacy to follow. Just remember, it's all about giving the earth some love, and maybe, just maybe, it'll love us back. Asterisk, asterisk.